Hello and good morning from a moderately chilly Hong Kong. Welcome to the very latest episode of Sourcing Talk Supplier Stories from global sources. This is a live stream going out to you, the buyer and sourcing professional, wherever you may be in the world, watching on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. And we're very pleased to welcome you to this live stream where we will be having a panel discussion featuring experts who are suppliers in different industries with their perspective on today's topic, which is upstream issues. In other words, the supplier also has to source materials and other manufacturing inputs from further upstream in the supply chain. And although in the normal course of events for you, the B2B customer, that's of limited importance in the sense that you don't necessarily need to know all the time where all these things are coming from. There are times that it can be crucial to be aware of the issues at play, and so we'll be getting their perspective from different industries and different experiences on the things that you, the buyer, need to know. Now, at this point, I should mention the function of Global Sources Live is to answer the questions or solve the problems that you have, whether you're a sole proprietor, maybe an e-seller on Amazon or other platforms, or even up to the very biggest international chains. So if you have questions or comments, please do leave them in the boxes below this video, and we will put relevant questions to our experts when they come in towards the end of the panel. After the panel discussion, we also have our supplier spotlights. That's the more nakedly promotional part of the live stream, where we have some guest suppliers featuring, in fact, two of the companies who are appearing in our live panel today as well, just telling you about their companies, the products they make, and I would say providing quite valuable insights into the processes and the logistics and issues surrounding those products as well. And following that, we will have a brief chat with one of our analysts who works for Global Sources based in Manila. But in fact, I think I'm going to be able to get him online to give us a quick preview of what we will be discussing. Carlo does not have his camera on. Wait, yes, he does. So I can now add him to the stream. Carlo, good morning.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. So how are things in the Philippines right now?
It's very cold in here in the province. I'm not actually in Manila.
That's right. You're sort of a peripheral province. So what are you going to be sharing with us later on this morning?
Well, later on this morning, for our next segment, I want to talk about the plastic injection molding industry and what 2021 could possibly have in store for plastic manufacturing.
All right, so that's going to be interesting, and also it's pretty applicable to quite a lot of different products. So yeah, that's an upstream issue for, I think, quite a lot of our viewers. All right, so fantastic. I will talk to you in approximately 1 hour, we think, estimated time. So, all right, okay, you go and have a coffee break, Carlo. I'll talk to you later, and thanks. All right. So yeah, that's Carlo. We'll be catching up with him a bit later on. But first, it is time for our panel discussion on upstream issues. What's the title? What buyers need to know on materials and inputs. I'll level with you. I have a little bit of trepidation about this topic because it's quite technical, and I'm definitely going to be relying on our expert guests to know all the facts that we need to share. So first, I'm going to bring in Kevin Guo, who is from K&B Metal. Let's get him there. There we are. Hi, good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Tom.
Hi. How are you doing? And where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm from the KB Metal. Our company is made the die casting parts for the auto, the motorcycle, bicycle like this.
Okay, well, that sort of part. And where is your company based?
Sorry, my English is not good.
Oh, sorry. What city is your company in?
Oh, yeah. our company have located in the Shanghai city.
Ah, Shanghai, excellent. Very nice. It's been a long time since I've visited Shanghai. I'd love to go again, in many years, in fact. All right, so thank you for that. And we'll have more from Kevin later. I'm going to bring in some more of our expert guests. I think let's who's next in line? Oh, from representing Hong's group, we have Mickey Xu. Mickey, good morning. Oh, you're muted. Let me... Oh, you have to unmute yourself. There you are. How are you? Oh, wow. There's a bit of robot audio problem. Shall I? Hang on. Hold on a second. I'm going to mute you and then unmute you again. Let's see if it improves. Okay. Not very well. Okay, I'm going to put you on mute for a second and we'll come back to you. I will. Normally, this works itself out after a little bit of time. So while we hope that that fixes itself, I'm going to add Emily Chen of, let's see, there you are. Kingsay Electronics. Hello. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Tom.
Hi. Okay, you're coming through loud and clear. Yeah, how are you doing? And where are you calling us from today?
I'm doing good, thank you. And I'm calling from Taipei, Taiwan. And our headquarters is located in Taiwan. And we have 2 factories in Dongguan and Suzhou.
Oh, I see. Oh, Suzhou, not too far away from Kevin then. So can you tell us a little bit about your, well, I mean, it's not that close either to Shanghai, I guess, but, you know, close enough. So can you tell us a little bit about your company, you know, what you make, maybe where your key markets are, that kind of thing?
Okay. Kingsay is the company that dedicates on acoustic products. So what we make noise. As long as you need a warning signal, you need a siren tone, or buzzer, or can assist you for your device. And as long as you need a tuneful melody, you can consider about our earphone, headset, and TWS.
All right, fantastic. So that sounds pretty enticing. So anyone in the market for noise, you should contact Emily.
Noise and melody and voice tone.
Yeah, excellent. All right, I'm going to try to add Mickey's audio back in. Let's see if that's okay. Mickey, hi. Can you try again?
Yeah.
Oh. No, that's not good, is it? All right. Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to try doing the? Sorry, I'm going to mute again. Do you want to try re-entering? I think it might be the best. Sorry. All right. We're going to do the classic reset on a Zoom meeting technique and see if we can get Mickey to come back in. Let me see. Do you think I should we start maybe let's start now. When Mickey comes in, we can have her introduce herself and her company. I'm sorry, I'm doing the classic talk off camera to the producer thing there. So yeah, let's, while Mickey is sorting that out, and by the way, the test this morning was absolutely fine. There was no problem at all. So it's very typical that things should go wrong now. So yeah, what we're talking about today is quote unquote upstream issues. So when we talk about, I mean, many of our viewers will already know this, but just to be clear, when we talk about upstream in the supply chain, we mean, you know, the earliest points. So for example, if you have a company that sells wooden tables, you might order from a supplier that makes those tables, and then upstream from them are the people that, you know, chop down trees, make planks, and so on, and provide the materials to make those things. So we're going to begin by setting up the background of, you know, what upstream means in these different industries. So let's go first to Kevin, I think. So Kevin, can I ask you, what are the key inputs in your industry for manufacturing? And then as a kind of secondary question, could you like outline which ones are more vulnerable to things like shortages or changes in price that could be unexpected?
Yes. You know, for our products is die casting industry, the parts. So the main inputs in our industry is material and the labor and the equipment. Because you know, our company is a trading company, but we invest to factory. So these materials, including the stainless steel, the alumina, and I think this is increase over you know each year, especially this year, and the cost is highly. So I think this is manufacturing inputs for us.
All right, thank you. And then I will throw that question over to Emily as well. So obviously you're working with electronics, components, things like that. So what are the most important inputs for you, and how and which ones can be are sort of vulnerable to changes or fluctuations?
I think that includes materials, equipment, and labors. And the most important one is the materials, because for labors, we can use the semi-automation or fully automatic equipment to replace or to ease the labor shortage. But for the raw materials, that will be the major parts that may face the shortage issue.
Understood. All right. So I will now attempt to add back not only Mickey, but we also have been joined by our fourth guest of today, who was having some difficulty connecting before. Let's grab Mickey first, and then we'll have our previously undisclosed fourth guest. So here we go. Hey, Mickey, let's try this again. How are things?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Loud and clear. Okay. Right, I knew this would work eventually. We have Peter Chen from Lightspeed waiting in the wings, so we'll add him shortly. But first, Mickey, could you tell us a bit about your company, where it's based, what you make, that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. We're based in Xiamen, China, and we mainly make activewear and swimwear. That's our focus, and we are a family-owned and very integrated system for supply chain. So, meaning we from design to fabric R&D to fabric knitting to cut and sew, merchandising, and independent QA team. So it's a very integrated system that we focus to provide our supply chain solution. Most of our clients are still doing OEM, ODM, but then we also provide OBM. So it depends on our clients' needs. We mix and match what we could provide to our client as a solution. And this
sounds like Oh yeah, that's the product sample. Yes, your headless friend in the background. Nice. So, I mean, I'll ask you that kind of initial question just before we bring Peter in as well. So, what are the key inputs for your manufacturing process, and which ones are more vulnerable to things like shortages or price changes?
Yeah, so because we make garments, and especially we make activewear and swimwear, so these are high elastic fabrics. So our main material is actually fabrics, but if we trace back to the most upstream material, then that would be yarn. And yarn can be made out of many different things. It could be natural materials like cotton or like polyester that's spun from mainly chemistry. So if we get more, let's not get into too details, but if we focus on the yarn, the most vulnerable is the synthetic yarn. And these synthetic yarn, for example, polyester, nylon, and spandex, these three yarns are very sensitive to petroleum. So the pricing for the oil, so it will affect a lot. So for example, right now the pricing for petroleum is low, then our polyester will be low, things like that.
All right, fascinating. Yeah, of course, it's obvious now you've said it that yarn is such a key thing, but had not crossed my mind, of course, before we started talking. All right, let's get then our fourth guest here. Peter is calling us from, well, I think I might have to start doing the solo layouts. So everyone's gone small on the screen. Peter, good morning.
Good morning. Well, sorry for late because I got a wrong. Okay. All right. Our base is in Taiwan, and most of our product is communication related, and like 5G routers, 4G routers, and some other modems, which is cellular related products.
Okay, understood. And
for the question,
go on. Yeah.
All right. For the question you asked about the material inputs, right now, I think the the electronic components we purchase from the name brands. Okay, and because of the most difficult part is if the producer or the factory has accident like AKM in Japan, they have a fire accidents last month, and it causing a lot of wafer manufacturers a lot of problem and causing many shortage for the components. So to avoid that, then the lead time has to be longer, and we had to notify the customer, say if they have a requirement, then it will be better to put a forecast so we can have a better preparations for the shortage.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned forecasts there, because you know, the next question on my list, so to speak, is you know, what current trends or, you know, things coming in the future do you see that are going to affect the price or availability of materials or resources for your industry, Peter?
Right, particularly like wafers right now is a big shortages. So right now the lead time, you don't believe it, like from the Qualcomm, the lead time is 46 weeks. It's almost 1 year. So we don't know how it's going to be get easier, but that's the way it is now. Particularly the well-known company like Apple's, they have a very big good sales in 5G cellular phone. So the shortage is going to be getting the serious. So the only way we can do is try to find a second source or change the design, or maybe just press order and stay in line.
Yeah, wow, 46 weeks. That's a lot of thinking ahead. I've got to say that's quite a long wait. Yeah, well, I mean, let me put the same that same question to Kevin, who's at KMB Metal. What present and future trends do you have for your industry that are going to affect the pricing or the availability of your resources?
I think the trade war from the 3 years ago, you know, this for like you know, for our for our parts, it's very difficult to do. You know, some equipment need our parts, some you know, autumn need our parts. You know, our main customer is a U.S. American customer. So this 2 years we are very hard time, and they increased a lot of the taxes. So maybe the trade war is affecting us. Yeah.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, and no real forecasts, I suppose, of that diminishing, or rather, there are forecasts, but it's hard to know how that might change and affect things. I mean, let's ask Emily about that. For your business, for your industry, what are the things currently and continuing to affect availability and price?
Okay, I think for the positive influence to us is that because our products could be widely used in different applications, and this year for the medical and smart home application are pretty hot, and just like the first 2 quarters, our products could be used to respirators and to help patients in ICU to breathe. So when we need the parts, we negotiate with our material suppliers and tell them that the one more piece you can supply more to us, we can save one more life. So that means for those parts used for this kind of applications, we indeed face that shortage for the material, even the labors. And I think for the coming next year, I think the demand will be also increased. So for the trend, we see that we will continue be required for such kind of special requirement occur due to COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you, Emily. And Mickey, for you in the fashion garments industry, what are the you're muted, by the way. What are the current and future trends that are affecting your pricing and availability?
So like I said earlier, about the first point will be petroleum, because petroleum will really affect the synthetic yarn that we use. So there's forecast for that, but we don't usually forecast because it's hard to forecast. And secondly, it's the international issue. So for example, the trade war that were mentioned by Peter, and also the international issue like COVID that mentioned by Emily. So I'll have a really simple example to explain this. So in the beginning of this year, because the COVID situation was really bad, and there's a lot of mask production, and the elastic for the mask, the elastic part of for the ear part is actually made out of spandex yarn, even though the spec is different than the spandex yarn that we use for garments. But then because they use all of their specs, so they use the thicker spandex yarn and we use the thinner spandex yarn, and they're out of stock because there's too many mass production. And then they start using our thinner yarn for the mask ear part, and then we're out of stock. And then the price for the spandex all rapidly grow very high. So the conclusion is, we need to look at the related items that use the same materials, and then that could affect the price and availability of these of the fabric and yarn for these.
Wow, that's fascinating. I suspect we'll come back to discuss that point about seemingly unrelated products a bit later. But yeah, I find it interesting actually that despite all four of you are in very, very different industries, it's actually it's the same issues that are affecting those inputs for everyone. Now, I think let's do I'd like to kind of set up one more background info point before we get into the practical advice for buyers who are watching, and that is, I'd like to talk about buyers' own behavior. What do buyer requests do that can cause difficulties for you with your sourcing? I mean, well, I'd like to ask Emily this one first, I think. Let me just put your audio back on. So yeah, can you give an example of a way that sometimes buyers' requests can cause difficulties for you to procure the materials or the other manufacturing inputs that you need?
I think for us that for the customers, they have the urgent request, but without any forecast, that would be an issue. So because normally we hope the customer can give us some forecast, just like our automotive customer, they will give us their web EDI information so that we can see their coming 6 months, 12 months request. But for some urgent requests that we don't have the material available and they need very urgent, I think that would be an issue.
Understood. All right. Whoops, I've still got you on solo layout. There we go. So let's ask Kevin that same question. From your experience, what's something that causes difficulties for your sourcing when buyers give you these requests?
Our customer every year talk about price again. So this is a big pressure for us. This year and last year, there's a very hard time. The material increase and labor's increase, labor cost increase. So every year, the customer asks us to reduce the price percent, maybe 1 or 2 or 3%. So I think the buyers, this causes difficulties for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable, isn't it? Everybody would like the slightly lower price, but at some point you have to concede, I guess, that it's not that practical. Let's see if Peter was having some audio issues earlier. I think they're solved now. Peter, how about you? What are some difficulty causing buyer requests?
怎么会突然这样？
Oh dear, it seems like Peter cannot hear us. I'm just going to mute his mic for the time being. Well, let's throw that question to Mickey instead. What's some examples of buyer requests? I mean, not like being difficult in themselves, but maybe it's what seems like a reasonable request from the buyer perspective, but actually it causes more problems than they might imagine.
I would say, to be very honest, the first answer from my end is to really know what the buyers want. So meaning that doesn't include everything. So let's say, because price, quality, and the lead time is 3 main points for the manufacturer like us. So we cannot provide low price, very high quality, faster. We want to provide reasonable margin. So, and that really requires transparent communication. And second is about the lack of buying plan. So for example, we produce swimwear and activewear, and swimwear has a very high-low peak production during entire year. So if we have a entire buying plan for the entire year, we actually can do the manufacturing more flexible.
Speaker is gone.
Oh, sorry. I think Peter, can you hear me? No, I don't think he can. I'm gonna quietly mute him for a second. Sorry, no, Mickey. I'm gonna put you back on. Please finish your thought.
Yeah, I'm almost done. So so meaning if we have a buying, because 98% of our buyers give us a buying plan for the entire year, so that we can, for example, right now, our polyester yarn is very low, then we can produce in advance so that we can lock down the price. So this is the flexibility I mean. So if we have the entire buying plan and we know what the buyers want, they value quality more, they value price more. It depends on their position in the market. So one is their position, a specific request, and the second is buying plan is very important to us. If they don't have these two, then it could be a little harder for us.
Fantastic, thank you. And yeah, thank you for especially the point about the buying plan. In some of our previous weeks' live streams, this is an issue that's also been mentioned. Kind of in general, the idea that it is very useful for buyers to be just to share more information with the suppliers. It may be that it's not of that much use or interest to the supplier, but very often the supplier is able to, because they have many different customers, they'll be able to sort of spot, ways that they can help or things that perhaps the buyer should be doing in the market. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that's technically not the topic of this discussion, but I think it's interesting that it has come up many times. So it looks like it's a thing that more buyers should be just trying to do. Now, let me see. Peter's attempting to rejoin. Hopefully we'll get him back soon. Let's see what else was on our list. Yes. So here we go. Let's transition into the giving buyers tips and info segment. Okay, Peter is back in. Let's see if he can hear us.
Okay.
This is how you know it's live, because if it was recorded, all of this would be edited out. Peter, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Wonderful. No, that's fine. Glad to have you back. You're just in time to get in on the previous question, which is, could you give an example of some ways that sometimes a buyer has a request that causes you difficulties for, sourcing materials or labor or other inputs?
Oh, okay. The difficult part is the customer, they want to have a product delivery within a short period of time. And like, for example, they say, okay, I want to have this product within maybe 1 month or 2 months. And then and this moment, because of the component shortage, and we have a difficulty to get the parts, no matter either from the distributor or from the original source. So this is a difficult part, and particularly when we discuss the pricings, and if the pricing is set, but then the customer wait a long period of time, and because of the currency fluctuating, like for example, like NT dollar right now has been appreciated for like 6% for last half month, and it causing the pricing to fluctuate also. So these two parts is the most concern to us. But the most difficult part is the short period of time of the delivery because of the component shortage.
Yes, understood. Well, yeah, 46-week lead times on some things. Yeah, that's very understandable. Thank you for sharing that with us, Peter, as well. Yeah, currency fluctuations, of course. The idea of quoting one price and then waiting reminds me of a friend of mine who used to have a habit of getting the price on a plane ticket, then waiting like 2 months and being surprised when the price had changed. So I think, yeah, that's something to be aware of. Now, actually, I think to a degree, all of you may have already answered this next question as we move into the tips for buyers segment of the panel. But nevertheless, I think it's worth asking outright, what's the key, one thing or maybe a few things that your customers should know about or should learn about the materials and the resources that your company has to procure? And Emily, I've had not allowed to speak for. Let's go to Emily. What do you think that your customers should learn or know about your manufacturing inputs?
Okay, I think we think the customers, the buyers should know about our value. The value means that for the R&D team, we have professional R&D team to support the OEM and ODM design, and even for select the most suitable materials to make the parts. And secondly, that we have the quality certificates, just like ISO 9001 and IATF 16949, which is the highest automotive quality standard in the industry. And I think we also offer flexibility for custom parts. So I think that the buyers can consider about the things they should know about our company. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good point. It's the non-material inputs are so important as well, because there are that range of services. And of course, standards that's if you don't already know about all the relevant standards for the materials, you need to. Let's give that question to Kevin as well. Kevin, what do you think that buyers need to know or to find out about in terms of the upstream sourcing that your company does?
Yes. Every year the customer to inspection to our factory. Of course, this year didn't, because they come to here to see factory process from the purchase department, material startup. We show our website because for example, Shanghai material, stainless steel, aluminum, this material website to show them, and we can give the list from 1 year's list, the increase or down, and they know clearly every year the material situation. So this is first. Second is I want the customer learn our the quality, the area it's increase step by step. So this is a 2 point. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. Well, let's go to Mickey as well. So, I mean, I already learned something about spandex yarn today. What's something that you think, what's something that buyers should be aware of in terms of inputs? You're muted, by the way. Mickey, sorry, you're on mute. You better turn on your microphone.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. So it's hard to say in one sentence because it's very complicated, I think, for other suppliers as well. So if I give one advice, I would say to understand or to know more about every material's pros and cons, and understand there are some limits to certain new materials. For example, I'll use example because it's easier to understand. So for example, the recycled polyester is a very hot trend, and it's going to be the hot trend for the next maybe 5 to even 20 years. And then that's something that we want to optimizing along the way, but there are some limits to that. So for example, the normal polyester, it's good, it's very steady because it has been produced for long, but recycled polyester is very sensitive to dye pigment. So for example, the bright blue color, or like so usually the blue color or the lighter color or sensitive color, it will have lines to the fabric, and that's unavoidable because the recycled polyester yarn has impurities in the yarn. So it's not like the virgin yarn is very pure. So it will make the fabric surface uneven or have lines, and it originally for normal fabric, it will be deemed as defective. But for recycled polyester fabric, that will be considered normal. And the buyer will need to know that. That's the limits to this current industry technical limitation. It's just unavoidable for all of the suppliers. And so that's why I say every material has pros and cons. For example, polyester is good for heat and the nylon's not. So then if you're producing for outdoor, for sun exposure garments, then maybe we should use nylon because it keep the heat. It will not raise very high when you are exposed under the sun. So that's just very two simple examples that I would say.
Thanks very much, Mickey. And I mean, Peter, for you in communications, electronics, I imagine, the pros and cons of different techniques or technologies is also a factor. But is there anything else that you think customers need to know or to learn?
Because each product is composed of a lot of components, even up to thousands. So even if there's only one component shortage, then you cannot make it. You still have to wait until this component's in. So what we like to have a customer understand is, if the customer, they can provide a longer plan, or maybe even a little bit more realistic production plan ahead, then we can purchase material or prepare the production in advance. That's the most important part now. And because the technology is getting advanced faster and faster, and a lot of components is very sensitive. In the 5G, for example, the crystal, if you change one crystal, change the design, and that's waste a lot of time. So in our industry, the most important parts, we need the time and we need the forecast. What I'm saying, we need a very specific plan with the customer to produce the parts. To produce this product.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, Peter. And in fact, what Peter's touched on there, this idea of preparing in advance, sharing a plan in order to help the supplier to provide what the buyer needs. That's a very good point. I mean, let's come back to Emily as well. So we've talked about what buyers should know. What can they do to help cope with upstream sourcing difficulties or issues?
I think besides Kingstay has the flexibility, we also hope the customer, the buyer, or even the engineer has the flexibility. Because when we face some products end of life issue or the raw material shortage, we hope the customer can allow us to introduce the alternative product to them as a second source. So we hope by this way we can assist them to solve the lead time issue.
I see. Yeah, sort of be open to new alternatives, I guess. And Kevin, what about for you? What can buyers do that would help your company to deal with upstream sourcing issues or difficulties?
What? How to say? I want to customer know how to say the situation in China now, and please order more for us. It's a very best spot.
Fair enough, fair enough. And Mickey, let's come to you and give you the last word on this question. So yeah, aside from learning about the available materials and so on, what can they do that would help you out in terms of your sourcing? Sorry, you're muted again.
Okay. So yeah, it will be similar to giving us the guide, the buying plan, because that will really help with our flexible production arrangement. But on top of that, we also need to have a transparent communication. This is not something material, but it's really important to have transparent communication. So, for example, if our buyers are having a macro strategy of globally production basis, for example, they not only need to have production base in China, they also need to have in Taiwan, they also need to have in, for example, Southeast Asia, like Vietnam or Philippines, in order to be more secure in their, let's say, cash flow or in their international situation, then that we will need to know, because what if we have our own production bases in Southeast Asia, then we can have our buyers because they trust us already, and we can help them in terms of that. So having a transparent communication about their cash flow, not about cash flow, but about their strategy, about their future planning, then we can really align with our clients. This sounds maybe too big, but that's something that we do with our VIP clients, because we can really help them and support them if we have a transparent communication.
All right, thank you so much, Mickey. Now let's go to the comments. Not too much in the way of questions. Oh, we have this nice comment from JJ on Facebook, though, who says, "I always set a reminder whenever you have a scheduled live stream. You guys always have interesting topics. Thanks for sharing." So I'm going to assume that thanks for sharing also applies to our guests today. So thank you, JJ, for your kind words. We also have a slightly long comment on YouTube from Alain Dussauce, who is based in France. I won't put it on the screen right now, but he would like to get in touch with Emily from Kingstate Electronics. So, well, Alain and anyone watching, you can get in touch with any of these excellent suppliers by clicking on the relevant links in the description of this video, or going to globalsources.com and sticking their company name into the search box that is on there. But also, if you want to learn more specifically about Kingstate or Lightspeed, they are appearing in a few minutes' time in our Supplier Spotlight videos, and I believe they've put their contact info into their videos as well. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for writing in. So yeah, no real questions or requests for clarification, which I think means Kevin, Emily, Mickey, and Peter have done an excellent job in explaining their points and sharing their insights. So thank you so much to all four of you for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time and putting in the effort and dealing with the technical setup that all this requires. So thank you very much. And I hope that we can catch up sometime in the future and maybe talk about another topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
See you and goodbye, and Merry Christmas. Bye. Just remove Kevin. So yeah, there we go. Another excellent panel. And as I said at the beginning, I was a little worried about this topic because of my complete lack of expertise. But as you saw, actual experts can carry the conversation perfectly well, because they really know what they're talking about. And I found, I always find the quite specific details of each industry's issues quite fascinating. These things that often seem obvious in hindsight once someone said them, but that don't come up when you think about these things off the cuff. So as I mentioned earlier, if you'd like to learn more about any of our guests' companies just there, they have home pages on globalsources.com, and you can go to those and learn about the company, facts and figures or whatnot, preview the products that they offer, and indeed contact them and make orders via globalsources.com, or indeed via our excellent new mobile app, which now features completely in-app payments powered by PayPal. Now, coming up in about 30 minutes' time, we will be rejoining Carlo Padilla in the Philippines, who will be talking about trends in plastic molding technology. But before that, we have our supplier spotlight videos featuring a number of interesting and verified and reliable experienced suppliers of different kinds of products. So I'm going to attempt to add that to the stream now and make that work.
Hello everybody, we are really great pleasure to be here with you today. I'm Cheryl, in the marketing department of Koyo Master Electronics. We are glad to have this opportunity from Global Sales and Tima, and welcome you to the virtual launch about Koyo Master. You will ask, why choose Koyo Master? Since the establishment of Koyo Master Electronics in Taiwan in 1995, Koyo Master started from the very core for domestic market. With this professional basis, we expanded to the more product development, including power inductors, common module, light filter, and transformer. We have the strongly technical background on passive components because of the professional basis and experienced engineers. For Koyo Master, we believe quality is the most important part in production, which brings the excellence and trustworthiness between customer and us. We apply automatic machines on the producing line in order to offer the stable and reliable quality on products. Moreover, we also have our own laboratory, which to meet the AEC Q200 standards. For an environmental awareness, all of our product has RoHS compliance, and we also have ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 certified. Furthermore, we also have IATF 16949 certification. Koyo Master have various products which provide the one-stop service of passive components for our customers. It can help customers to save time and be easier to do business. Our product can offer to the power line, signal line, and DC to DC. We have different types of product, including SND type and pin type, and different product form like shaded, semi-shaded, and unshaded. We will provide a different proposal for our customer requirement and also providing a customized product for different customer projects. By our prompt reply, professional experience, and reliable quality, our services involving the communicating appliances, automotive equipment, industrial control, and many related industries. For automotive application, we offer our product to the worldwide famous automotive brands, applying on audio, heat handline, oil pump, and car charger. The quality of our products and services represent the key constituents of our corporate strategy, whose principal acts as customer certification. Our quality management system is continuously oriented to the international standards that stimulate the highest requirements. Our product delivers efficiently energy saving with excellent performance and ultra smooth design to go with the current minimized design shape. Now let's do business with Koyo Master.
Have you ever wondered how can I make sure about the memory product's quality? And how can I tell it is made by good dye, partial dye, or even ink dye?
Non-flash memory is a very tricky business. Prices are up and down. Capacities could be fake. Flash could be downgraded. In short, how can I make sure about the stuff I bought are genuine with great performance?
Is there a magic tool or software I can buy and check the quality? For these burning questions, now I'm going to reveal the greatest lesson we have learned from our 18 years daily practices, which is find a reliable business partner. Find a reliable business partner. Find a reliable business partner. A partner who is professional and being 100% honest with you, delivering what you have ordered without failure, and always put your success as a top priority. Sorry, honey, that's the only way to go. We're pleased to have this chance to introduce ourselves, Digilux Technology, the flash memory expert to you, who has nearly 2 decades of experience in this very competitive market. Well, coming up, there's a short film about us. Enjoy it.
This is Emily Chen from Kingsday. Kingsday is a public company dedicated on acoustic products for 43 years. Our product lines include buzzer, speaker, receiver, microphone, Bluetooth headset, and TWS. Our headquarters is located in Taiwan, and we have 2 factories, in Dongguan and Suzhou. Both of our factories are certified by ISO 9001 and IAT 16949, which is the highest quality standard in automotive industry. Besides automotive, our products are widely used in safety, security, medical, smart home, and consumer electronics. As long as you need a warning signal, a voice tone, or melody, our professional R&D team will be able to provide you the best sound solutions and custom design service. For more information about Kingstay, welcome to visit our website at www.kingstay.com.tw. And our company video is coming up.
We hear the world through sounds. We need information. We care about safety and security. We hope to stay healthy. And we enjoy happiness. Our products are extensively applied to all aspects of technology products, bringing us a splendid life experience. Kingstay's leading acoustic technology provides customers professional proposals and product designs across the world. Integrity has been our core corporate value for decades. Innovation keeps us ahead of the competition. Striving for excellence makes us a first-rate manufacturer. We're continuously strengthening R&D capabilities and providing customers professional and practical technical support from design to manufacturing. Using the latest and advanced acoustic engineering system, we can design and make samples rapidly and accurately to fulfill customers' requirements. At the development stage, Klippel Analyzer System and Console Simulation System are used for sound quality improvement and diverse acoustic simulation to shorten project schedule and minimize cost. Authorized Skype and Cortana speech quality certification system enhances our measurement and pre-qualification service. We work closely with customers and develop products jointly to create a win-win situation. Our innovation derives from abundant experience and engineering research that allows us to continuously create new products. In addition to our highly vertical integration of production, we spare no effort to automate and improve the production process. With flexible and efficient production, we constantly improve our quality and defect-free rate to minimize production cost. Quality starts from design. Good quality comes from strict control of all details. We're proud of our total quality management system and believe we can achieve our quality goals without compromise. Kingstate ceaselessly develops new technology and improves sound technology to create competitive edge for products. All efforts are geared to achieve better sound solutions and customer satisfaction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Peter Chen from Lightspeed International. Today, I'd like to introduce you our company hottest products. The first product is 5G gateway. This gateway can get speed from operator up to 4 gigabit per second and 7 gigabit per second from milliwave. It has a 4-LAN port. Each LAN port can offer you 2.5 gigabit per second, as well as 2 WAN port. This unit also has Wi-Fi 6, which is L211AX. Each channel can offer you 2 gigabit per second. Inside of the unit, it has a Bluetooth and the Zigbee. This means if you have a Bluetooth or Zigbee sensor inside your house or your factory, it can link to your sensor, collect the data, and send back to the servers. This unit is very fast and it's a perfect choice for the 5G. The second product I'm going to introduce to you is this 4G router with 2 SIM cards. These 2 SIM cards is for critical application such as ATM machine or the security devices. If the first operator has a difficulty to make online or due to maintenance of cell site, then the second SIM card will take over immediately. This means this device can make your application 24 hours online. The third product I'm going to introduce to you is 4G gateway. This 4G gateway has RS-232 or RS-485 connections. These connections can connect to your sensor or your devices such as power meter, water meter. So whatever the devices has RS-485 or RS-232, the data will pass through to this 4G router, and then this 4G router will send the data immediately to your back servers or your head-end systems. There's a very simple setup, no interface, no checking necessary. So this device can be 100% transparent to pass your data through your servers. The number 4 product I'm going to introduce you is dash camera. This dash camera has very high resolution. It can go up to full HD and with 30 frames per second. It also has embedded microphone and speaker. as well as Wi-Fi. This means the video clip can be shared through your smartphone to your websites. Now, I'm going to introduce you how good the night vision's quality is. The video clip that you are going to see, you can see how good and how clear the license plate in front of your car. And you also can see very clear pictures of the people's and also the store's license and the nameplate. Now, this device has a USB port that can connect to 4G modems. This means all the video informations and the video clip as well as your voice can be transmitted back to your server. So your server can have the locations, video image, and people can understand what happened inside of your car. The number 5 products I'm going to introduce to you is Tracker. This Tracker is using NB-IoT and the KM1 technologies. It has battery inside which can carry by children, persons, or any seniors. This also has server applications, and as well as the client app can be installed inside of your smartphone. So from your smartphone linked to a server, you can track any person or any car or any asset around the world from any place. The last product that I'm going to introduce to you is the 4G modem. This 4G modem can use the KM1 or NB-IoT technologies, as well as the Cat1 or even higher speed up to Cat4 devices. This modem can be put inside of your water meter or power meter. It has the RS-232 devices and antenna, also the SIM card. So once you put this device in your applications, it can transmit or receive the data from your servers. Thanks everyone for watching our video introductions. If you are interested in our products, please contact us. I'd like to wish everyone safe and healthy. Bye-bye.
Hello, this is Grace from YCH. I'm glad to have this opportunity to introduce YCH to you. Founded from 1994, YCH earned its possible credit and reputation because of the good quality products from both of domestic and overseas market channels. Therefore, YCH is assigned to be the qualified partner by well-known brand manufacturers around the world, such as Panasonic, Garmin, Toshiba, Fujitsu, Philips, Isuzu, Dell, NEC, and JVC. Under the common occasion, YCH got the opportunity to learn the latest technology to improve and create the related products. In order to accumulate experience and heritage, YCH established the R&D department. With the R&D skills and self-innovation ability, the original production technology and the process have been improved and thus speed up the shipping procedure to meet customer marketing overall arrangements. Next, there are 3 parts for the products of YCH that I want to share with you. Part A, primary competitive advantages. Part B, the unique function and system categories. Part C, the multifunction categories. For Part A, primary competitive advantages. 1. Agile product design and easy installation. 2. Meet customer requirements quickly. 3. For the modularized design, it can reduce the R&D design schedule and the cost. Number 4. Matching design inside of the amplifier
can help customers improve their antenna sensitivity and the reception effect. Number 5, waterproof for IP65 or 67 and anti-UV for outdoor use. Number 6, ESD products. It's 15 kV, can be adjusted up to 25 kV. Number 7, anti-static and lightning protection design. Number 8, product certification, CE, ROSE, REACH, and RED. Number 9, company certification, ISO 9001, IATF 16949, and DNB certificate. Part B, the unique function and system categories. It is one model for single system. For DVB-T group, there are FPC, T, and patch types. The frequency can be UHF and VHF. For wireless LAN and radio groups, there are rode, on glass, patch, and magnet types. It can support 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, LTE, 5G, MFM, and DAB system. The pattern with or without cable and gain value should be available depends on the request from customer side. It also can be installed on the body of engineer farming machinery. For GNSS group, magnet, screw, and film types are available. It can support GPS, DBS2, Iridium, GLONASS system. It also can be modularized type and installed inside of the dashboard. Part C, the multifunction categories. For combo group, screw and magnet types are available. It can support 3G, 4G, GNSS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LTE, DTV, and radio system. One unit can be up to 4 systems. It also supports 2+2 MIMO design. With a smaller appearance, high gain, high sensitivity, and special techniques are utilized that allow the antenna to be 30% more efficient. The normal 3G and 4G antenna patterns use chips or planar antennas that causing polarized direction to be changed and the reception to be attenuated. We use stereo antennas to solve such problems. And most of Wi-Fi antennas use PFA design, since this signal is easily reflected by objects that causing polarization to be changed and receiving attenuation. We use circularly polarized antenna to solve such problems. Generally, GNSS antennas are susceptible interference that results in reducing positioning accuracy. We use multi-order filters to provide maximum 70 dB isolation. High precision group. It is the hottest item for YCH 2021. It can support GPS, GLONASS, Baidu, Quiz, and Galileo. It also can be applied with drone, major, construction, storage tank, and autopilot. It can be greater bandwidth for 1197 to 1249 and 5059 to 1606 MHz. Low power consumption with lighter weight. YCH also represents the young, creative, and honest, a symbol of holding a young blood like momentum, exerting innovative technology, manufacturing high-quality, reliable production of MIT to achieve the goal of highest customer satisfaction. For young, expect the company to maintain the young and active person and mind. Every employee can hold the momentum and the vitality mentally, serve customers to reach the product requirements, make an all-out effort for YCH. Active, emphasize the persistent innovation capacity. Let the company's products both unique and diverse, and thus provide customers with comprehensive and professional ODM and OEM integrated program. Function and quality have been on the market consumer recognition and affirmation. The first, YCH got the OEM project and been approved the authorized qualified manufacturer to make the Hello Kitty mobile phone antennas from Sanyo and Seiko in Japan. Then, transform the car antenna from mono row type into thin film and patch type. Next, modify the traditional single function into the multifunctional and combo shape. For Honest, attaches importance to good faith attitude to create the supremacy of the quality. Strengthen quality management for the totally guarantee of the quality. Create the most authentic value to customers. In the business philosophy of sustainable development and create the profit sharing, Mr. Amos, the president, emphasizes the spirit and the vision of YCH. A. Strive to meet customer demand for products with the highest satisfaction. B. Bring benefit to all the staff and share the profit to all employees together. C. Create the impression of MIT means good merchandises. D. Require all employees to uphold the attitude of integrity and try hard to enhance competitiveness. E. All the products should be tested in line with environmental norms. F. Value the property rights and patent applications. We believe the product through YCH factory is the best choice by people definitely. Thanks for your watching and listening. Hope I can get your antenna inquiry and discuss with us what you need. See you.
All right, there we go. That was Grace Cheng of YCH. And before her, we heard from Cheryl Wu, who is at, check notes, Coilmaster, Quan Lee of Digilux, who provided what I'm going to call a bravura piece of filmmaking in the intro to his video. And of course, Emily Chen of King State and Peter Chen, no relation, of Lightspeed, who both joined us earlier for the live panel. So thank you very much to all of them for their efforts and time in putting together those informative packages for us. Speaking of informative packages, it's time to join Global Source's very own Carlo Padilla, who is in the Philippines. And yeah, there he is. Excellent. On slightly the wrong layout. Let's do that. Oh, no, yeah, let's do that one. Sure, why not? Carlo, hi. How's it going?
Hi, Tom. Very happy to be here again. Is my sound okay?
Yeah. Sound is pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, you mentioned earlier, I think you said it's cold where you are. Now, I'm curious, what's the definition of cold in the Philippines?
Well, not cold enough that I skipped the shower this morning.
That's TMI, maybe. All right, let's crack on with the sourcing material, sourcing part of the chat. So we're talking about hardware, or rather manufacturing trends, I guess, today. Is that right?
Injection molding, yes.
Yeah. So, actually, you've prepped some slides for us, right? Let me add that to the stream. Yes, yeah. You can talk us through it. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, so for this segment, I want to talk about the plastic injection molding industry. For some of our viewers who may not be familiar, let me switch the slides real quick. There it is. For some of our viewers who may not be familiar, injection molding is the process of producing custom parts for different things, like the housing of a power tool or plastic toys, or even the remote control that you use with your TV. Everyday stuff like that. Almost every industry that manufacture uses plastic injection to make their parts and components.
Oh, right. So this isn't solely a kind of hardware sourcing topic. Then it will affect rather
yes,
pretty much any vertical. Right. Okay. Cool.
So again, for those who are not very familiar, in this process, molten material is injected into a mold where it cools down and hardens, and then takes the shape of the mold. So what are some new things about plastic injection in 2021? The use of very tough corrosion-resistant materials that can withstand high temperatures. For example, polypropylene, polyurethane, and PVC. Manufacturers in the automotive industry are using this type of materials as a way to increase the service life of their parts and their components, but also making these products less heavy, because of course the heavier a car is, the more energy it tends to consume while moving. So lighter parts on the vehicle means it will consume less fuel.
Oh, yeah, okay, interesting, yeah.
And aside from these really strong materials, medical products are expected also to drive an even higher demand for plastic injection because of something called biocompatibility, or the property of plastic to allow it to safely contain liquids that is to be delivered to a patient's bloodstream.
Okay, I'm glad you defined that, because I was I was going to have to ask you.
Yeah, so there's been a kind of a shortage because of the need to import.
Sure.
Which is why the medical products will be high in demand. Another notable trend that is looking to change the landscape of plastic injection molding is the global shift to sustainability and eco-friendliness. Because we all know about climate change and global warming and how serious that matter has been getting over the years. So that has turned the attention of many industries to develop more sustainable practices and use materials that are eco-friendly.
Okay, and so, well, when you say, well, more eco-friendly materials, does that mean kind of more recycled plastics, or is it just like a different method of producing them? What's the trend there?
I would say recycled plastics with some new materials that are more capable of being biodegraded.
Okay, yeah, oh, I see. So, like, if someone's looking to source more sustainable products, they should be kind of asking their suppliers about the methods they're using for molding. Right. Okay.
Yes.
I see.
And that is it. I guess that's all that's new with plastic injection. I mean, it will probably, the manufacturing method will probably continue to be in demand for the years to come.
Sure, sure. Well, and of course you are, well, I say of course, the viewers don't know this, but I know that you have a more in-depth article on this coming up in the Global Sources Hardware magazine, although we call it that for short. What is it? Hardware, Machinery and Automotive. That's not the next issue though, is it? Is it the February, early 2020? Yeah, I wonder, maybe we can sort of create something in our smart sourcing segment on globalsources.com and get out maybe a teaser article a bit earlier using your material, because that way the excited viewer can learn a bit more about injection molding, plastic injection molding earlier than February. But of course, yeah, if you were to subscribe to the digital edition of that magazine, you wouldn't need to remember to look it up later because it will be sent to you automatically. So viewer, that's a thing you should do. All right, okay, so thanks for that, Carlo. Interesting as always, and take care of yourself in the frozen wastes of the Philippines. And I guess I'll see you after Christmas. So yeah, have a great holiday. Take care. All right, bye, Carlo.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, there we go. So that brings us to the end of today's live stream. Thank you so much for joining us today. We had a great live panel. We had some fascinating and insightful supplier spotlight videos, and we just met up with Carlo there to talk about the latest trends in plastic injection molding, which is a manufacturing trend that affects pretty much any kind of product you might care to be sourcing. Next week, we do have a live stream, although the format is a little different. We've put together a kind of highlights and spotlights collection, as it's, well, look, I'll level with you. It's difficult to book people during between Christmas and New Year to be on live panels. Also, the production staff need days off and so on. So what we will be running is a sort of condensed highlights from some of the earlier panels. In other words, we've taken out all the bits where people are on mute or can't hear what other people are saying, and we've made some packages there. And we also have some brand new spotlight videos that have been sent in by suppliers telling you all about their products and the ways that they make them. So that's still certainly worth a watch, and I hope you will join us again, same time, same channel, at 10 a.m. Hong Kong time on the 29th. Until we meet again, it remains only for me to say thank you very much for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Well, that one's a little too early.